Hey y'all, what's up? It's John with Superfly, BeSuperfly.com, and today I'm going to go over how to do this layout here, this part right here, where you have two columns and a background image taking up the full area here, and it's equaling the height of this area here, and then it's flipped here. And also on tablet and mobile, instead of it going this image, then text, then this text, then and this image, as it normally would, we change the order a little bit to where it goes the image, our text, the image, our text. So it'll make more sense as we get into the tutorial, and you can use the same idea on a 2/3, 1/3 section, or so yeah, let's dive in. So again, this is the effect I'm trying to go for. Okay, so here's my starting point, and all this is just two sections with one row in there, in each one with some text. And so I'm going to add in between these two, because I just wanted to give some breathing room. Right in here, I want to add, something like these right here. All right, so step one, we're just going to go ahead and add this new section, regular section, 2 columns. And we're going to have some text over here. So actually I'm just going to copy that and paste that over there, and it's a little big, like my H1 there is a little big, so I'm going to go ahead and adjust that down to maybe 48 or something like that, and we'll give it a little heavier. There we go. That looks good. And then just to keep it nice and clean, we're going to get rid of this excess text. And let's just say it goes to about right there. That looks great. But a couple issues. So let's say this first one, we got what? We have it looks like a light gray background there. Let me see here. Let me pull this over. And all right, where's our background color here? It's going to be on the column. If not, I can just grab. There it is. Okay, let's use that. So we're going to go into our columns here, and we're going to say background for our second column. We're going to add a background color. There we go. But it's very tight, and that's because we need to do a few things. Just to show examples here, I'm going to add some crazy colors here so we can see what's going on. All right, so our section background is this red one. This is our row background, and this is our column background. So I want to get rid of the padding here. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can do the old drag thing. I like to go in the settings still, and I just type in padding, and I just link them and say 0. And I'm going to do the same thing to the section. Now eventually you'll just hop in and do all this at once. All right, and so next what I'm going to do now is we want our row to be full width. So I'm going to go in here, design sizing, make this row full width, and you'll see there's still some edges there, and that's because of our custom gutter. So we're going to crank this down to 1, which actually feels like 0. So at this point, our red section is now totally covered up by our row. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to get rid of this red background now because it doesn't matter. We don't need it. And actually, I'm going to give this section a actually, we'll give the row. We'll do that to the row. We'll go into the row, and I'm going to give this a class of, let's do text image row. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some padding now to this column to give it some breathing room like we have here. So I'm going to go into my row settings, into the padding area or spacing area, and down here for column 2 custom padding, We're going to go ahead and make these all equal. But let's do 5%, then 5% left and right. That, I think, looks pretty good. Actually, I'm going to bump it up a little bit. Maybe to 8. There we go. I like that a little better. And I might have to adjust that for tablet or mobile, but right now, I think it looks pretty good. My page heading, my H1, I'm going to make that guy, I'm just going to make it darker. Okay, all right, so that looks great. So now let's go ahead and add our background image over here. So we're going to go into the row, into background. I'm going to go ahead and, I'll leave this for now, but for column 1 background, I'm going to choose my background image here. And I'm going to choose this girl drummer here. And then I like where that is. The cool thing about using it as a background image is I could use a parallax on this. It's not going to show right away back here, but you can kind of see what it'll do. And then the CSS one actually makes it really big because it's doing the full width of the page, and this is covering it. So usually the CSS method is not the best for these half section deals unless you like it zooming in and only using half the width of the image. So I'm going to go with true parallax on this one. I'm going to save this now and go over and see what I have. Okay, so first off, our columns, you can see something here, but it's not showing up. And if you've done some work with Divi, you probably know why. We're going to go into our row, into the design area spacing. Or no, I'm sorry, it's sizing. And we're going to say equalize column heights. And you'll see that that fixes that issue, and it makes the two columns the same height. Now we're going to save it and check out what we have. Yay! It's working, and you can decide whether or not you want to keep the parallax or not. I'm going to keep it for now because I think it's kind of cool. So now that we don't need that row background anymore, we're going to go ahead and ditch that because we don't need that anymore. Okay, bye. All right, so far so good. I'm going to do a couple things. Usually what I do, and I might not even use them, but usually what I do is I go into settings, into the classes, and I'll say, all right, well, in this example, column 1 is our, is our image column, and then column 2 is our text column. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And now it seems like our on desktop, our first, so far so good, right? So now we're going to go on and work on this second one. Looks like I have them flipped actually. But now I'm going to make one where the image is on the right and text is on the left. So step 1, I'm just going to duplicate this row. Boom. And then just do some drag and drag this over here. And then go in and just make new adjustments. So background, this time for column 1 is not going to be this image. We're going to make it, we're going to give it a color. And we're going to do a dark color there. And before I get too far, I'm going to go into my text settings and make it light here. Okay, so I must have set the, okay, text color, let's do that. Make that white, and then let's go into my heading 1. And let's make that white as well. There we go, great. I'm going to go back into my row settings, background, so column 1, that looks good. Column 2, we're going to get rid of that color. And we're going to go pick a new background image, and I have this drummer guy. So let's put him in there. And this one we'll leave the parallax off for the time being. But now you see that there's no padding over here, so we have to go to the Design tab in our row, Spacing, and you see we have column 2 padding. We don't need that anymore. We're going to go over here to column 1, and we're going to just put that there. So 8% all the way across there, 8%, 8. %. Boom. Hey, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and save it. See what we have here. Pretty cool. I'm going to make that one parallax too. It just seems like it should be. It just seems like they belong parallax together. So let's turn that on. True parallax is great. That's going to look really cool. Let's save it. That looks neat. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this now. So this looks great, but you'll notice once I go down to our tablet size, our images are gone. They are gone. And so let's see why. Let's go ahead and inspect here. Let's go ahead and pull this guy up a little bit. There they are, they're back. Okay, let's inspect. So we see that this column here, it's got a class of ETPB column empty. And that's because Divi thinks that this column is empty, and it is. There's actually no module in this column, right? There's nothing in here yet. There's a background image, but that doesn't really count. So Divi thinks it's empty. So the only reason it's showing right now is because we have that equalize column heights. But as soon as it goes down to tablet, you'll see that ETPB column empty right here, display none. If I turn that on, and I say, you know, height 300, well, I'd have to give it, actually I'd have to give it to this guy, but it would be there. So we're going to do a couple things. Normally what I would do is, I mean, we could say display, you can try to mess with this guy and get it to show up. But actually, what I do instead is I just put a divider in there. Is what I do. So I go here and I go and add in a divider. And I say, yep, show it. And then for color, I give it, so you can see here, you can see it up there. So for color, I say boom. And then for height, I'm just going to leave it at like a 1. Say OK, and then I'm going to copy that, paste that same guy there, and hit save. Refresh, and now when I go down to tablet, it's going to have the image, but it's only going to be one pixel tall. And so this is why we gave it the row. We gave the row those classes earlier, and I got the. So remember up here we gave column 1 the image column, text column, and actually we're going to have to do that for this guy too. They have to be switched around because we copied it. So go in here. So our image column now is not column 1, it's column 2. And our text column is column 1. Okay, great. Let's save this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some CSS to make these guys not disappear. Or we're going to give them some height now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, I'm just going to go ahead and open this guy really quick. So we have text image row and then image column. Text image row, image column. So we're going to say at 980, we have our row of text image row, and then we have our image column, if I remember right. And I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a min height of 300 pixels, let's say. I'm going to double check to make sure that it's image column. Perfect. All right, save this guy. Boom. So now we have our images back, and they are 300, which looks right. The cool thing is you could make adjustments for, mobile. If down on mobile you needed more to show or less to show, we could do that. So let's do that. Why not? Let's go in here and say, make this bigger. All right, let's just give some room here. So let's grab this guy, and we would say something like, I think 600 or 767 is where Divi's mobile starts. So that's fine. Let's say 200, maybe. Give it kind of a slimmer look so it shows more of the image, more of the width of the image anyway. All right, so there we are at the 980 breakpoint, and then if I go down, you'll see now it's down to the 200. Looks like it did it right about there. And you could put other values in there if you want. So that solves that, but now there's this issue of, hey, I like having this text layout here, but when I get down, or image layout here, I want it to go my image text, and then I want this image to be next, and then this to be next. What's going on? What's the deal? And Divi is honoring its default stacking order, so we're going to write some code to switch them. And I have a little text snippet already prepared for this. So I'm going to go above my media queries here. And I'm going to explain this code here that Divi's having a little bit of issue with, but it'll be fine. It's just thinking, yeah. All right, so basically we're telling Divi, hey, at 9, actually I could just, since this is at 980, I'm actually just going to cut this and put this in here. There we go. Oh, Divi. All right, so it's saying, hey, and actually I'm going to get rid of this ETB row. Okay, great. And you'll have this code available in the description, the video description to download, so you don't have to do everything I just did. But it's saying, hey, at 980, go in, find, and we're going to put this on our row. Find the row, find this class of 2-column switch that we're going to put on our row. So I guess we could do like this to, then it would have to be on a row then, but it's fine without it. Display it as flex and reverse the column order when you do that. So this actually could work. So on 2 columns, it's just going to switch the columns around. If you had 3 columns, it would just switch the outer 2 around. And then if you had 4, it's gonna flip them all the other way. And then 5 and 6 and stuff. So let's just say okay to this, and we'll say yes. So it's before I've refreshed. Before I've refreshed, we get down here, it stacks them that way. After I refresh, we go down. Oh, let me oh, I didn't add the class. Huh. So yeah, so what I was saying, classic, right? I have to add this 2-column switch class to the row where I want the switch to happen. And so the row where we want the switch to happen is this row here that has the black background and the drummer guy. So let's go add that. So in the row here, and we're just going to do a space, and we're going to put 2-column switch there. All right. Okay, now let's refresh. Slide this guy in, and ta-da! It's doing our switching for us, which is sweet, and it's responsive. I mean, what's really cool is we could say, hey, when I get down to 450 or 600, let's make it let's make it really slim, like 100 pixels. Or maybe just for mobile, like 450. There we go. Could be kind of cool. I don't know. Let's see. So get down here. Yep, there's that size, 300, 200, and then our mobile little slims. I don't like it, so I'm gonna take that out. But that's something you could do if you so desire. And I think that's gonna be it for this tutorial. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to do. So let me just clean all this up. That looks good. Yeah, that all looks good. And actually the cool thing is too, is you can change this now. You can say, hey, how about we do a, you know, 1/3 like that and have this guy be like this. Or wait, is that 1/3? Did I do 1/3 on that? Yep, okay, cool. Yeah, that looks neat. Pretty cool. And then go in, and then, you know, and then the rest is going to be the same. So yeah, let me change these back. Perfect. And then a couple tips. If you have Divi Background Plus, which is this guy here at 10 bucks, you can go in and you can actually set a gradient, let's say, over your parallax image. So we'll do black and make this one all the way down. Actually, I didn't want to. Actually, I'm not going to do it on that one. Let me do it on this guy, this one. Here we go. Black and black. Turn this guy all the way down. Something. Oh, I want it over here. Yeah, like that. Let's see what that does. And you can mess with the start and the ending and all that stuff. There you go. You get the idea there. Kind of a cool fade-in kind of deal. And it still looks decent on mobile. But that's just something quick and dirty that you could do. But again, that's only possible because Background Plus allows you to put some background colors over a parallax image or a video, as opposed to, you know, Divi just being limited to the static image. So there's a plug for that too. But I hope you enjoyed this free tutorial. Thanks so much for purchasing stuff at our store, BeSuperfly.com. We super appreciate it, and it allows us to have the time to do free tutorials like this. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I look forward to making another one soon. All right, have a great day, y'all. Stay fly.